Hi guys, my name's Aaron, this is the 5 Red Lights, and today we're going to start a brand new series where I talk about 5 things that sucked and 5 things that were great about the last Grand Prix in Formula 1. We're starting with the British Grand Prix, so here are 5 things that sucked and 5 things that were great.
1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's go!
So the first thing that sucked about the British Grand Prix was the abuse that Lewis Hamilton received during the race and afterwards. After the incident with Max Verstappen. Racism has no place in Formula 1 and has no place on any F1 channel. The second thing that sucked, Max Verstappen's 51G impact. We never want to see drivers getting hurt. It was great to see him clamber out of his Red Bull in one piece. Obviously he had to go to hospital for precautionary checks, but luckily Max is A-OK and he'll be back stronger than ever in Hungary. The third thing that sucked, Sebastian Vettel spinning when in combat. I thought we'd left these days behind, Seb. We really could have had a race-long battle with you and Fernando Alonso, but it wasn't to be. He got a little bit too hot on the throttle and round went the Aston Martin. In at number 4, the fourth thing that sucked about the British Grand Prix was George Russell's grid penalty. For God's sake, let them race. It's racing, man. Let them. And the fifth and final thing that sucks about the British Grand Prix was Lando's slow stops, costing both Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris higher finishing positions. It actually cost Lando a podium at his home race. But fear not, next year Lando will be on the podium. That's a prediction 12 months in advance. The British Grand Prix was fantastic, so here are 5 things that were great about the British Grand Prix. Number 1, the first F1 sprint was pretty successful. It was a great start. We had wheel-to-wheel battling between Max and Lewis, and then we had Fernando's electric start where he overtook 7 cars? Something ridiculous. He went from 11th to 5th, and no one knew how he'd got there until we'd seen the replay. Bravo, Fernando, bravo. In at number 2, the Team to FIA radio messages, which are relatively recent in their addition, but they gave a real insight into what goes on behind the scenes during a red flag or after an incident, and the sort of toing and froing between Mercedes and Red Bull and the lobbying, which some people weren't so happy about, and I agree that Toto shouldn't be going up to see the stewards, but I think they should be able to speak to, maybe not to Michael Masi, the race director, but to maybe a lead steward, a delegate for airing between teams and the stewards themselves, so it's like a go-between. That's really good, and the fact that we get to hear some of that play out over the airwaves, fantastic. Number 3 of the 5 things that were great about the British Grand Prix, Charles finally getting that podium in 2021 for Ferrari. Of course, he was super unlucky in Monaco. He probably would have won that race considering he was starting on pole position, but finally he got his just desserts in Silverstone, and it was a fantastic drive. He almost won this race. Imagine what he could do with a car that's slightly quicker. What could he achieve? World champion future? I think so. The fourth thing that was great about the British Grand Prix was Fernando Alonso showcasing all of his talent in the start at the sprint.
It's the best of your talent. We know how big it is. Use it.
The fifth and final thing that was great about the British Grand Prix, the fans were back. That was the best thing about the British Grand Prix. Hearing their cheers as the cars went round, not to mention how they lifted the roof off of Silverstone when George got into Q3 and when Lewis took pole position, and hearing the gasps as Max and Lewis diced down into Brooklands and then went for it into Copse, and all the other emotions, and just seeing them in the stands as cars went past was just fantastic. And the scenes at the end, I know some people weren't very happy with that, but it was fantastic to see Lewis being able to interact with the fans in such an emotional and evocative manner. That for me was the best thing about the British Grand Prix. So there you have it, 5 things that sucked, thumbs down. 5 things that were great, double thumbs up, we love that. What did you think was great about the British Grand Prix? What do you think sucked about the British Grand Prix? Let me know down in the comments below. That's all for today. My name's Aaron. This has been the 5 Red Lights, and when the 5 Red Lights go out, I'll see you next time.